stuff in Oakmont. All on sale. Today only.
Tell me more about your book club.
We think that knowledge should be available to everyone who seeks it, unlike those snobs in the university library. So we have assembled our own collection. Every club member can borrow any book they want.
That's interesting.
For what it's worth, club meetings are every Thursday in the hall of the Devil's Reef Hotel. Come along.
I'll think about it. I believe these are the books you were after, safe and sound. Unlike the people who read them. Maybe you should reconsider how widely you share this knowledge.
You're starting to sound like the snobs from the university. Close-minded and arrogant. Nevertheless, you have my gratitude. Our unique collection is once again complete. I trust this will be enough compensation for your trouble.
Bye.
Knock it off.
Hello, sir. Welcome to Oakmont University Department of Medicine. I'm Samuel.
Charles Reed, private investigator. I have a few questions if you don't mind. You recognize this bottle? Maybe you could tell me what's inside.
That's one of our lab bottles. We have a lot of them. As for what's inside, I'd need to run some tests.
Yeah, could you do that for me?
These tests aren't cheap. And the other day I could get right to it, but we're, somewhat hindered right now.
What's up?
Our lab is crawling with, well, creatures. Professor Westerbrook's research is a little unconventional, and something went wrong. Really wrong.
So, if I do a little pest control for you, you'll run those tests for me. For free?
Our budget is tight. You'd be helping the cause of science, Mr. Reed. Isn't that enough?
Oh, I guess science could help itself.
All right. Yes, you solve our problem, and I'll run the test for you. Off the books. Here's the key for the basement.
The door won't budge. I'm glad this thing is dead. Why do they even keep it here? I'm glad this thing is dead. Why do they even keep it here? What kind of person would even touch this? Not to mention dissect it. Some serious equipment they've got here. Oakmont University is clearly well funded. I wonder what would happen if I press this button. Should I or shouldn't I? So very tempting. Your lab is certified creature-free.
Excellent, Mr. Reed. You've done us a great favor. Now we can get things up and running again.
Your lab was, interesting. Running experiments on those creatures. What's up with that?
Oh, they're fascinating, aren't they? Convincing evidence of new branches in the evolutionary tree. Can you blame us for taking an interest?
Maybe not, but so much dead flesh down there, that's going to attract scavengers. Didn't you think about that?
Yeah, well, no. Well, be more careful in the future. Your point's taken.
Okay. I've done my part. Here's the bottle. Now you run those tests.
Yes. Wait here. It shouldn't take long. We finished that analysis, sir. It's ricin.
Ricin?
A highly toxic poison extracted from castor beans. It's slow-acting, but absolutely fatal to humans.
How can you tell if someone's been poisoned with ricin?
The symptoms take several days to develop. At first, it's like a common cold. But over several days, well, it develops into hemorrhage, internal organ failure, and death. It's not a pleasant way to die.
So, where do you get ricin? This isn't something you can pick up from a drugstore.
About that. It is rare, but we have a certain amount of it here. For study, in our poison store. Or we did. I'm afraid that must be where it came from. The label had been tampered with, but it certainly looks like ours. Where did you find it?
Crime scene. Someone was trying to poison a bunch of fish with it.
This is horrible. I need to warn everyone in the university about this.
There's some kind of cure for ricin?
I'm afraid not. Once it's in your system, it's a death sentence.
Who's got access to where the poison's stored?
Only Professor Westerbrook has the key. His office is upstairs, right alongside Professor Cavendish's. Professor Westerbrook's not here, though. He's been sick for the last few days. Professor Cavendish is away as well, on vacation.
Where do they live?
I'm not sure, but probably somewhere in Advent. Most of the teaching staff live there. Wait, you don't think it was one of them?
I'm working on that. Can you let me upstairs?
Well... all right. This is serious. I'll help you. Here's the key, but please don't disturb the professor's things.
I'd like to know a bit more about your professors.
What do you want to know?
I want to know more about Westerbrook.
He's the head of our department. He's been here for, well, at least 30 years. He's one of the longest-serving staff we have. As you've already seen, he's particularly interested in the wild beast that recently appeared in our city.
Yeah, that's quite the unique fauna you have there.
I've no idea how he did it, but Mr. Throgmorton's men brought him live specimens for his research. He thinks he's on the verge of a breakthrough in evolutionary theory, a secret that, once revealed, will benefit all humankind.
Some secret should stay buried, 6 feet under.
You're not a man of science, are you? It's not about why, it's about what if.
What can you tell me about Professor Cavendish?
He's one of the most brilliant teachers we have here, a PhD at only 25. Just imagine, his biochemistry studies are second to none, worthy of a Nobel Prize. If he could complete his work.
What's his problem?
I don't know. There's some kind of family trouble. It's made him standoffish and irritable, and easily distracted. I hope he gets through whatever he's going through. We need his talent, especially in these dark times.
I'll see you later. Door won't budge. These bottles look exactly the same as the one with the poison.
This should be good enough to make a decent copy.
Can you fill me in on Ricin again?
Of course. What do you need to know?
I'll see you later. I'll see you later. Some serious equipment they've got here. Oakmont University is clearly well funded. What kind of person would even touch this? Not to mention dissect it. These bottles look exactly the same as the one with the poison. I'll see you later.
Knock it off!
Extra, extra. All the news that's fit to print. Buy a paper, mister?
Door won't budge. The door won't budge. won't budge. Judging by the layer of dust on it, this ring hasn't been worn in a long time. So why keep it around? This Cavendish guy did an impressive investigation, and the EOD's in the center of all of it. The door won't budge.
I loved you. I always loved you.
You will never understand our cause! My child is blessed by the sea! I'm leaving you, George! George, I can't live like this anymore. There's something I have to tell you.
I don't care what your damn EOD cult demands, Anna! I thought the child was mine! Mine!
Okay, let's see what we have here.
George?
I don't care what your damn—
You will never understand our cause! My child is blessed by the sea! I'm leaving you, George!
George Cavendish. He had a wife named Anna. She had a baby that was not his, but blessed by the sea and claimed by the EOD. This caused their split.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Calm down. My name's Charles Reed. I'm a private investigator.
Right now, you look like someone who's breaking into my house. A burglar. Explain yourself.
Easy there. Anna from the fish market asked me to find you. You know her, right?
I should have guessed. I know her much better than you think. What does she want from me now? She already took everything I have.
It's not about what she wants. It's about what you did. Poisoning the fish. Sound familiar? Yeah, I can prove you did it.
Hold on. Before you jump to conclusions, I want you to know that I had a good reason to do what I did. It all comes back to Anna.
Oh, this should be fun. What's your good reason for poisoning innocent people? You know the EOD are feeding the hungry, don't you?
No, that's exactly the problem. They're not doing it out of charity. They do it to spread their influence and recruit new members. Some of those initiates, as they call them, vanish without a trace. And not just them. They kidnap ordinary folks, too.
And poisoning the fish would prevent this. How?
Oh, you see, not everyone in this city believes in the EOD yet. They have opposition among the citizens, both rich and poor. A rumor of the EOD's fish being poisonous and several incidents would be enough to undermine the EOD by sparking fear and mistrust.
What's Anna got to do with all this?
As you might have already gleaned, she was my wife.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it all starts to come together now.
The EOD robbed me of her. It all started with the free fish. We were all short on food at the time, and then they hooked her with their nonsense about the benevolent sea and greater good. I looked past it for some time, but then...
She became pregnant.
Yes. At first, I was over the moon. But then one day she came to me, that snake, and told me that the child was not mine. She said it was blessed by the sea, that it was demanded by the EOD. Doomed take them! I couldn't stand it. I just couldn't.
There must be another way to deal with the EOD. Like, if their crimes are that obvious, why don't you just go to the police?
They're resourceful, those sons of hagfish. They maintain a squeaky clean image, and they're good at it. I tried going to the police. They were no help at all. And I'm not suicidal enough to make it public and take them to court.
What did she mean, blessed by the sea?
What do you think is the cause of Innsmouth syndrome in people?
Living in Innsmouth?
That K-forsaken place has nothing to do with it. It comes from breeding with monsters. These sea creatures they call Deep Ones. They take our women and they spoil them with their seed. Then they give birth to degenerate fish-faced offspring.
Where did you learn all of this? This information about the EOD?
After Anna left, I had nothing. But I did have a lot of time to research Innsmouthers, the EOD, and the story behind them. It is an old and powerful organization. They appeared back in the mid-19th century in Innsmouth, and the first people with the Innsmouth syndrome started showing up around that same time.
Perhaps not coincidentally.
No, of course not. And the EOD is immensely rich. The sudden rise to power of the Blackwood family happened right after they joined them.
So what's your next move?
I was interrupted and couldn't finish my task. The EOD received a fresh haul of fish, but now they're on alert and raised their guard. I understand I'm in no position to ask. But after reviewing all the facts I've presented to you, Mr. Reed, would you agree to help me?
Keep talking. Now, what is it you want from me?
Poison the rest of the fish. It's spreading, but it's not enough. The EOD trusts you enough to deal with me, so it should be simple for you. My agent inside the EOD reports that they've just received a fresh haul. That's your target.
Your agent inside the EOD. Is he fairly high up the ranks?
Ah, I see where this is going. You need something from the EOD too.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a certain person who may be held by them.
My agent can arrange that. If someone is being held by the EOD, he'll know it. It's a win-win situation.
All right. Look, I'm gonna need to think about this.
Of course. But don't be too long. I'm going to need an answer before I let you go. I hope you can understand why.